It's an unstoppable day, family. Hey, we are back. I'm Terrance, the unstoppable coach Leffridge with unstoppablecoaching.com. And we are welcoming you to the Next Level Living Show with Coach Terrance, where we talk to ordinary people doing extraordinary things to live their life on the next level. I know it's been a minute, but I thank you guys for joining us back live on the Next Level Living Show. Or if you're watching the replay, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to watch the Next Level Living Show. We love coming to you each and every week. We love bringing up and coming artists, up and coming stars, up and coming authors and coaches and entrepreneurs so that they can tell you their story. Because we know there's some young person out there who may be thinking about doing what our guest is doing, but don't know where to begin, don't know how to get started. We know that there is somebody out there that is pregnant with a purpose this evening, and we want to help you birth that purpose. And so we are going to be working with the Purpose Midwife tonight, Aleigha Butler. She's a mother, she's an author, she's an entrepreneur, and she is the host of her own radio show. It's called On Fire to Inspire Network. And she's going to bless you guys this evening with her story of how she is living her life on the next level. But before we get started, always we want to do a couple of housekeeping things. So if you are looking at the broadcast right now, just look above your screen and you'll see all these nice social media buttons. We are definitely interactive on the Next Level Living Show. So you can see that Facebook button. You can see that LinkedIn button. You can see that Pinterest button, and you can see that Google Plus button, as well as the Twitter button. Any one of those buttons, I want you to go ahead and click on them right now and let your friends, let your followers know that the Next Level Living Show is on the air right now. And throughout the broadcast, use those buttons as an opportunity to share your comments, to share your takeaways, because we know you're definitely going to get some golden nuggets tonight on the broadcast. But wait, there's more. If you look down underneath the screen, you'll see where you can be interactive in our Facebook chat room. Yes, the Next Level Living Show Facebook chat room. Go ahead, click that button, and it's going to take you over to the Next Level Living Show page on Facebook. Feel free to go over there, put your name, where you're from, and what you do in the feed so that we can get back in contact with you, so that you may be the next guest on the Next Level Living Show with Coach Terrance. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and let's give you just a sneak peek of what this wonderful woman of God is going to be bringing to you tonight. As I said to you, her name is Aleigha Butler, out of the great state of Georgia, and she's has her On Fire to Inspire network. She's the author of two books, and by one of the books is called On Fire to Inspire, and it's full of nice vignettes and nice little antidotes and it's a very powerful book, and I recommend it to anybody who's looking to rebuild, reclaim that fire in their life so that they can go out and inspire others. So we're just going to give you a little sample of what you can expect tonight when you hear this powerful woman of God, Aleigha Butler. So just hold on a second. We're going to let you hear this MP3 audio, which she calls Being Pregnant with Purpose.
Pregnant with purpose. Gestational period during pregnancy can be 9 to 10 months. Hey,
Hold on a second. Just trying to have technical difficulties all over the place tonight.
pregnant with purpose. Gestational period during pregnancy can be 9 to 10 months. How long have you been pregnant with your purpose? Has your due date passed? Are you now overdue? You must give birth to your purpose. It's not too late. It is your time. Don't delay. It's time to give birth to your purpose and your passion.
Wow, wow, wow. It's not too late. It's time to give birth to your purpose and your passion. That is Queen Aleigha Butler on fire to inspire. So let's bring her in to the broadcast right now. Queen Aleigha, are you on the broadcast?
I am loud and clear. How are you this evening?
Oh, I am unstoppable. You know what the marquee says. Thank you so much for being on the Next Level Living show. And just give us some information about who Aleigha Butler is as we get started.
Sure. Aleigha Butler is a purpose midwife. She's an author. She's a mother. She's a motivator. She is light in the earth realm.
Wow, light in the earth. You got to expound a little bit more about that. Light in the earth. What do you mean by that?
Light in the earth. Everything about me lights up. Let's put it this way. We are created in the image of Christ. He was light. So therefore we are light in the earth. But you got to realize that you're the light in order to be able to display who you are.
I got it. I love it. And so, in helping people find out who they are, that's where you come in as that purpose midwife. So, tell them a little bit more about how you coined the phrase, the purpose midwife.
The purpose midwife actually came, it was downloaded into me from the Holy Spirit. So it wasn't something I came up with, so I can't take ownership of it. But there are so many people that said, Aleigha, you spoke something that just really did something for me. You did this, you did that. And then finally I was like, you know what? I'm a midwife. I said, I don't birth babies, I birth purpose. So that's how I was coined. I coined myself as a purpose midwife. Everyone else, they call me Miss On Fire to Inspire because they see everything I do inspires them to move forward in their purpose. So that's how I got that. I named myself the purpose midwife, but others named me Miss On Fire to Inspire.
I love it. I love it. And we're going to get more in depth into both of those phrases that you've coined for yourself. But like I like to do with all the guests that come on the Next Level Living show, I want to ask you one very important question. And it's going to catch you off guard, but that's okay. I'm sure the purpose midwife will have no problem answering this question. So are you ready for your question? Are you ready for this question?
I'm ready.
All right. So the question is, Aleigha Butler, purpose midwife. What does it mean to you to be living life on the next level?
You know what? Living life on the next level for me is living the life that God created for me to live. So it's no longer, God gave me a word last year. He said, tell the people to stop settling, tell them to stop existing and start living the life I created. So from there, I'm living a life of purpose. And each and every day that I live, I'm living on purpose, I'm living in purpose, and I'm walking in my God given destiny.
Oh, we'll see. She's already on fire. She's about to blow it up already. And see, I knew you could handle that question. And we are so equally yoked in our purpose because, as you can see, the unstoppable coach came from a word from God because he said to me that if I am unstoppable and you are a child of mine, then that means you are unstoppable too. You've just got to believe it. And so it's very similar to what he said to you last year when he told you to stop playing small and to start walking in your purpose. And ever since then, you have been on fire to inspire. But
Yeah.
that's the now person. Let's take it back. Tell us the beginnings of Aleigha Butler. I know you're from Georgia now, but is that where you were born and raised? Tell us a little bit more about you.
Okay, I was born and raised in Gaffney, South Carolina. It is about 45 minutes south. No, that's north. 45 minutes north of Greenville, South Carolina, which a lot of people have heard of, and about 50 miles south of Charlotte, North Carolina. So I'm from a small hometown, came to Atlanta, Georgia to go to DeVry University, got an IT degree. I liked what I did. I enjoyed the money. I enjoyed what I did. But at some point, you get to the point where it's not about the money. It's about living on purpose. And it was no more living on purpose. I was burnt out working in IT and just doing what I used to be enjoying on a regular basis, but no longer enjoy it. And I was like, God, there's more to me than this. What is it? And that's when I started seeking who He's called me to be.
So how old were you then? Because that's a great point. Many of us we grow up and we follow the course that was laid out before us, which is graduate from high school, go to college, get a degree, start a career, and that's where you fall off the cliff. That's where the story ends for most of us. We get to that point and then we just live out the rest of our days at that point. But you recognized at some point that even though you liked what you were doing, that there was something more out there. So how old were you then? And did some life experience happen that brought you to that point of recognition? Or how did that come about?
Well, there was not really, well, kind of. It was kind of like twofold. At 35, I kind of just said, there's something more to life than this. There's a whole lot more than chasing a dollar. And I made decent money. Let me back up even more. I graduated from high school at 17 years old. I graduated from college at 20. So by 35, I'm like, I like what I do, but this just ain't it. And because I wouldn't rock out on purpose, and walk out because I wanted to, it was like the Lord said, He gave me a forewarning at 34 that, hey, it's time for you to trust me. But I didn't. So that IT position supervisor just went away when they pulled the rug, so to speak. All 200 of us lost our positions. They
Wow.
closed the site in Atlanta. And so it was like, okay, your IT is going. So you got to be pushed out of that comfort zone if you won't walk out and you hear Him clearly telling you. 2 years prior to that, I heard the Lord tell me go get a colonoscopy. And it's one thing for you to go, and it's a whole nother thing for you to go and they find something. And I had two polyps. One was pre-malignant and one was benign. So from that point, it was like I saw myself ready to live life at a whole nother level. And then finally at 35, it was like, okay, 34, I got the forewarning, still didn't trust Him. 35 is like, okay, I pulled the rug and it's time for you to do it, baby. And so at 35, I just really start praying about my purpose. God, what did you put life in this body to be? What did you put breath in this body to do? You called me to more than working somebody's job each and every day, going in, clocking in, doing this IT job, setting up networks, what I did in the past, helping with IT, managing IT areas. It just wasn't enough for me anymore. So yes, you can pay me big money, but that wasn't sufficient anymore. So now when you start praying about, God, what is my purpose? What did you put breath in this body to do? What did you put breath in this body to be? I promise you, if you're earnest and sincere about that, you'll start hearing His voice. Okay, you've been doing it all along and didn't even realize it.
So what was it that you were doing all along that you realized in a whole different shape, form, and fashion when you started praying to God for that purpose?
I had been motivating, empowering, and inspiring people all my life.
Okay, tell us a little bit about that. Did people tell you that you were being motivated to them? I know in my life people would tell me that I was a good listener and I gave good advice and people felt comfortable talking to me. But I didn't pay it any mind. I just thought it was just one of those things back in the day. It wasn't until I got a little bit older, a little bit wiser, and I too had those life-changing moments that I recognized that this was a gift that I should be honing and doing a little bit more with than what I was doing. So was it a similar path for you where other people were telling you these things, or
It
did
was
you know it for yourself?
it was the exact same path. It was, you're praying, and people are like, well, people come to you anyway, and you're always listening. You're always, I mean, I would meet people at a gas station, and I had this man. He had to be in his late 70s, and he was a different ethnicity, and he just told me his whole life story, and that was not like an abnormal thing. That was the norm for me. And so when I start just kind of looking and playing back in my mind after I just start hearing people say it and say it, I was like, oh, that is what I've been doing. And then I start really seeking God. God, is this what you've called me to? And then more and more I start hearing him say, there are too many people, lives. There are too many lives tied into your obedience. I need you to do what I've called you to do. So
Wow. We're talking to Queen Aleigha Butler on the Next Level Living show with Coach Terrance. She is the purpose midwife, and she is on fire to inspire. We're doing just a little bit of background on how she came to be the person that she is today. And Aleigha, isn't it funny how our talents, our abilities, and our gifts are there all along, always inside of us, always showing themselves at different space and times, different opportunities, but yet we ignore that those talents, those abilities, or those gifts even exist, or we just put them to the side because of our comfortable situation, because of that comfortable IT job, or in my case, because of that comfortable good government job that I had that was giving me everything that I thought I wanted and needed at that time. Isn't that ironic how that happens in a lot of people's lives?
it's very ironic. And I'm going to tell you, there are so many people that are too busy to realize who they truly are. When I say too busy to realize it, when I was in the corporate world, I was working for one of the top five banks, doing in the IT department. I did some things for the nonprofit sector of the company for them on their time and mine. I did mentoring. I was still mom, wife. I did so many things. It was like, how do you realize who you are when you're everything to everyone? So he had to have me be still, and I even have a piece in On Fire to Inspire called "Be Still." So that's where I feel like the layoff came in, to keep me still enough to hear him and to understand who I truly was, to understand my true purpose.
Do you think you would have ever heard that without the layoff?
No, I mean, I know that I had gotten to the point where I was just like, there's something more here. But no, I think that, you're so comfortable in the money that you're making. And, a lot of times you create a certain type of lifestyle. So,
Yes.
and you create more bills a lot of times too, because you know that you can afford it. But I was always pretty good. I was a good steward. I was always a good steward, but at the same time, I had to come out of that comfort zone. He had to take me out of the comfort zone and just push me into where I'm supposed to be.
All right, so we're gonna let you dwell on that point for just a second. So, what's the message that you would give to somebody who's watching this right now, who's comfortable? What's your message?
If you are comfortable where you are, guess what? That's dangerous. What what happens is your gifts are not being utilized. And there's someone out there that needs you, and you're the only one that can touch them. So whether it's you're the person to build their website, or you're the person to write that best-selling novel, you're the person that's called to be the artist to bring that word that someone needs to hear, to bring them and put life back into them. I've spoken to too many people that's been existing for too long. Get off of your hands, get off of your gifts, and move forward in the call that is on your life, whatever you're called to do.
Wow, I love it. I love it. And as the purpose midwife, you can definitely tell people that any type of pregnancy is going to be uncomfortable. It's just meant to be that way because you are carrying something inside of you that isn't meant to stay with you forever. it's only meant to stay with you for a time, for a season, for a reason. And it becomes uncomfortable when it's time for that purpose to get out. So you can't stay comfortable when there's something deep inside of you that's trying to get out. You've got to be uncomfortable. You've got to push it out so that the world can receive what it is that you've created inside of you. So speak more on to you as the purpose midwife. How do you move someone from uncomfortableness to actually putting their purpose out there and creating it?
All right. So first we got to understand where the comfort zone is and why they're comfortable in it. Is it the money? Is it the security? What is it that makes you comfortable? Now, what is it that you know without a shadow of a doubt it makes you happy? And this is what I used to say to when I used to mentor to the kids. If you can figure out what it is you do for free, and you could honestly make a living off of it, then you'll never feel like you worked a day in your life. And more than likely, you're walking in your purpose if it's something you can figure out you do for free and make an honest living off of it. It's time.
Okay. So so let's say you're not sure what your purpose is. Let's say, as many of the clients that I deal with, they think they do five, six, seven things, and they love all seven of them equally. So how do you determine which is the purpose that's ready to be birthed now?
Okay. Now, when they have several, because many people have many gifts.
Yes.
So, what we can do, what we normally would do is try to figure out, okay, what's the strongest gift that they're gifted in? Because many of us have many. I have many gifts, but my strongest gift is motivating people. My strongest gift is my passion because my passion is infectious. So, what is it that you're so good at that it becomes infectious? And then we can strategically hone in on that and make it stronger, even stronger than where you thought you were. A lot of times they're already strong in that gifting. And so once we kind of determine, okay, what is it that you're really the strongest at, then we can move forward and sometimes even monetizing that gift.
I love it. So now you mentioned that you've got a lot of gifts yourself. So let's talk about some of the things that you're doing. You are an author. You are a radio host of your own show. You are a mother. You are a motivator. So let's talk about each one of those things. And we'll go back. We've already mentioned the motivation. You're also a mother. So tell us about Aleigha the mother.
Aleigha the mother is the mother of a 13-year-old girl. God pray for me daily.
Jesus.
These teens these days, I tell you, I love them. They technology, they learn so much. And my child is so gifted. It's like she knows so much these days. And she was the one who was like, well, Mom, we were having the technical difficulties. Well, why don't you just get my laptop? And I'm like, okay, mine is newer. However, I'll try yours. But I mean, you just have to be open to the children, but at the time, not just be their friend. Because you can't be a friend to a teenager. You have to be the parent. You have to be able to listen, but you still have to be mama. You still have to be the parent. And many people aren't parenting these days. They are allowing the kids to parent themselves. And that's what I'm seeing as I go into the schools mentoring and speaking life skills to the children, if you will.
Love it. So let's talk about Aleigha the author.
Aleigha the author is an author of 3 books. The first one is the children's book, A Learning Book Just for Me. Can you see it?
Oh yeah, move back just a little bit so the camera's focusing. There you go. A learning book just for me. And what's that about?
A Learning Book Just for Me is the very first book, and it teaches in English and Spanish, foundational English and Spanish with a music CD. It can teach Latino children English and try to help them learn our language easier. And then it'll help us teach our children Spanish. And it actually was birthed as a result of me having Sateria, my daughter. And by the time she was 26 months old, I had taught her how to spell her name, count to 15 in English, 10 in Spanish, 6 of her colors in both languages, 6 of her shapes. She could sing nursery rhymes with you. And if you had a book of animals, she would tell you the sound it made and what it was. So at 2, she was doing that. So my godmom, Teresa, said, why don't you write a book? I'm like, write a book? I don't know anything about writing a book. She said, go to Rebecca. And I started researching after I went to the Rebecca. And I started researching it. And she said a lot of people want to teach their children. They either don't have the patience or they don't have the creativity. But I
Right.
taught them everyday tunes. And so that's how I learned a book just for me was birth. And Precious the Panda is the character that teaches them throughout the book.
So what? So before the book came, you obviously had some purpose for teaching your child everything that you taught her at such a young age. So are you fluent in Spanish, and did you see a purpose for teaching her so at such an early age those skills that you did teach her?
What I did see was my child loved to learn and she could pick up stuff really easily. So as that nurturer, as that mom that saw that, I just wanted to jump in and hone in on that. And so I actually taught her how to spell her name at 20 months. And then she knew all the other stuff by 26 months. But I've never had been a teacher prior to that. I had been in IT. So it was just, as you walk along in life, you start seeing other gifting areas. I have a teacher gift and didn't realize it through my child. And so I taught her all of those things and in everyday tunes. But of course I couldn't use everyday tunes write my book. So I had to find a person to write my music and make it, everything.
Okay. So and this next book, what was the next book?
All right. The next book is On Fire to Inspire. And On Fire to Inspire is a book of motivation, inspiration, and every piece was inspired by God. He would wake me up in the midnight hour just telling me words of encouragement. And there are so many pieces with different topics to speak to the person that, different situations. Like I have pieces called like, when will you answer his call? So many people are comfortable. It's time to get out of that comfort zone. And it's time to answer the call of walking in your purpose and walking on purpose. I have Pregnant with Purpose, which you played from the audio CD. The book is available on audio CD. We have Be Still, because so many people are too busy and they're not still enough to hear his voice. We have Declaring God's Promises over your life. His promises are yes and amen, and it's time for you to walk in it. We have Triumphant. We have Being True to Yourself, Full Potential, Redeemed. There are so many pieces in this book, but the book is available on Kindle. It's available on in paperback, and it's available on audio CD. So all 26 pieces are done with music, instrumentals played by Third Heaven Sound in the background.
Wow. Wow. So you told us the purpose of the first book, but how did you come up with On Fire to Inspire? When was this book done, and how did it come together?
Okay. The Lord woke me up. Well, actually, I hadn't gone to sleep, and I heard him just start giving me pieces because I actually didn't have the title to the very end. Okay. He was giving me piece after piece after piece. And I started working on this in November of 2012. And after I started putting them together and I was reading them to my pastor, she was like, you know what? You're going to present some of these at church. I was like, really? She was like, yeah, they're empowerment nuggets. It's something to just take you to that next place, that next level in a lot of places. And I'm like, okay, sure. And so I started writing the pieces down. And then finally, I said, you know what? Okay, I trust you, God. I'm going to do this. And I wrote the book, put the book together. And when I finished, my cousin called me one night and she said, Aleigha, she said, what are you doing? I said, I'm working on, just finishing my book, but I don't have a title. She said, you don't have a title? I said, no, I don't. She said, well, what are you working with? I said, well, one of my taglines I love to say is, you should always aspire to inspire someone else. Aspire to inspire. I said, but that's not it. I'm not feeling that. And she said, did you say On Fire to Inspire? I said, that's it. So I'm jumping up and down here in my home office at 10:30 at night, If somebody had been looking through my window, they'd have been like, something is wrong with that lady. She's crazy. But, it was just, it was like in the Bible where the baby leaped when they heard the voice. And my baby leaped, and God gave me that piece, that title to the book. And so the next morning I woke up and I was getting ready to take my daughter to her school. She was going to the private Christian academy. And I said, so Terry, mommy finished her book. I have a title. She said, you finished? I'm so proud of you, mommy. I said, yeah. She's an old lady now at that time even. And so she said, well, what's the title? And I told her. And she right then that morning, she wrote a little poem. And it was talking about God's plan. And I was like, whoa, all of this anointing.
So he
And
was working all through your house.
through my house, through my baby, the book. And it was just so beautiful. And she even drew a cover that's actually going to be an On Fire to Inspire for the children's version later. So I was like, wow, my child is operating in a whole nother level. So that's how On Fire to Inspire came about. And that was, I released it officially May 31st of last year. And then the audio book came out November 8th of last year. And then the radio show came out December 9th of last year. So I was very busy last year. And also in December, I made the book as an ebook. And the book of Prayers, Affirmations, and Declarations, which is my third book, came out in December as well. So.
Wow. You know what? And you got to remind me before we end this show to come back to that point, because there's a lot of people right now that is looking at it's October. It's about to be November in less than 8 days. It's going to be November. It's the end of the year, and many people start looking at the end of the year as the time to slow down. But you used the last 6 months of last year to really speed up and explode in your business and in your ministry. So that's something that we definitely want to touch on before we end the show tonight. But back to you and all those things that you're doing with the book and now with the radio show by the same name, On Fire to Inspire. What's the purpose of being on fire to inspire in the lives of so many people?
The purpose of On Fire to Inspire, whether it's the radio show, the book, or whatever it is to empower, educate, motivate, and push you into your purpose. It's time to do what you were called to do. If it's be an author, it's time for you to write that book. If it's to be a singer, it's time for you to sing it. Or if it's time for you to be that songwriter, if you're not the singer, it's time for you to write that song. Whatever you're called to do, if you're called to start your business, whatever type of business it is, it's time to do it. And what I am is that voice who's bringing on other voices to make your baby leap, so you'll no longer sit on your hands and you'll do what you were created to do. You'll live the life that you were created to live.
Wow. I love it. And you know, I did a motivational speech this time last year, and it talked about just simply don't talk about it, be about it. You know, if you want to be a speaker, speakers speak. Teachers teach, writers write, preachers preach. That ER is a powerful thing, because when you add that ER to the end of all those words, it goes from a noun to a verb. It goes from something that is standing stagnant to something that becomes full of action. And with 71 days left to the end of 2015, moving into 2016, you guys, you've got to stop being stagnant and start doing some things and be on fire and be inspired. And as Queen Aleigha said, aspire to inspire other people in their lives. I'm just getting so blessed by this whole conversation that we're having tonight, Queen Aleigha. I'm about to jump up out of my seat. You're gonna have to keep me grounded, keep me professional. You know, I'm about to lose it up in here. So tell us some of the people that some of the other things that you've been doing, because you had a pretty exciting month of October. Why don't you tell them what you were able to do as a result of the book and as a result of the show?
As a result of being obedient, walking in obedience, God has opened doors. So I just come back from the Dove Awards last week, and with the Dove Awards, I was able to meet and take pictures with so many people, and you know, things that I wouldn't have thought that I would be able to do. You got to realize On Fire to Inspire, the radio show, is only 10 months old. I'm actually, On Fire to Inspire has its own network now. So I'm actually on my own network because God told me that I had to take the training wheels off and I had to come alone and trust him like never before. So the On Fire to Inspire network, I am able to be his voice and his vessel. And so there are no shows right behind me. I have the liberty of, when I was at the in Nashville at the event, I was able to speak to so many people. I was able to talk and speak life even into people who are already receiving the Dove Awards and the Grammys and things of that nature. I just finished a book signing locally here in the Atlanta area on this past Saturday. I have an invitation to come speak at a ladies' women's some type of event. So your gifts will make room for you. All you got to do is trust God and move. It's not about, you know what, don't move, run. It's time to run into your destiny. It's time to take those chains off. You're already out of bondage. Jesus did it for you on the cross. So it's time for you to trust him like never before and move in the greatness that's already on the inside.
Oh wow, man, I love it. She's preaching. She is definitely sharing some words of wisdom tonight on the Next Level Living Show. We're talking to Queen Aleigha Butler. She is the purpose midwife, and she is on fire to inspire. I want to see if I can share my screen. So let me know, Aleigha. So I want to just show one of these pictures that you posted on Facebook from the Dove Awards. I think it is the one with, well, you tell me this one. Can you see this on your screen? Let me see.
Not yet.
Hold on. All right. What are you seeing on your screen now? Are you seeing your picture?
All right. That is Dr. Bobby Jones and my godmother Teresa with me on that one. So that's Dr. Bobby Jones, and he has the longest running show in history. 35 years. He's retiring, and so 35 years in the history. And he was on BET with his gospel show.
So what was that like, being able to meet the likes of Dr. Bobby Jones and being in that atmosphere? What did that mean for the little girl from from North Carolina? What was that feeling like?
The little girl from South Carolina was truly blessed and humbled by God allowing me to be in the presence of such greatness. Well, there's greatness in us, regardless of where you're from. There's, because of who you are in Him. It is just like it was an awesome experience. It really was, because there's so much wisdom in someone who has had that type of longevity. It is. So it was
Wow.
a great.
And you said earlier that God would make room for your talents, your gifts, and your abilities if you just follow in the path that He's leading for you. So talk a little bit to those people that may not believe that statement right now. What would you say to those people?
Well, what I would say to those people is, first of all, faith is something that's unseen. So the Lord even told me, He said, your life is about to be a faith walk. And I'm like, okay, Lord, what does that mean? And so because I was not familiar with walking in this place of being an author on this type of level in the inspirational. See, I kept telling God I'm a children's author. God said, take the limits off. Take me out of the box. So whoever I'm speaking to, take the limits off of God and take him out of the box so that you can walk in that purpose. Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable because you're not used to it. So just take the limits off, and whatever He's put in your heart, whatever He's purposed for you, whatever He's birthing in you, it's time to start writing it down. I want you to start a journal. And every time you have a desire for something, I want you to write it down. And I promise you, when you start looking at that journal, and even if it's just a to-do list, you'll start seeing yourself checking things off. And you'll start feeling like, oh man, I'm getting something completed. And you'll get into a place of like, oh my God, I'm here. And it's a growing place daily. It's a growing place daily. But it's a wonderful place to be. I'm not where I was, But thank God I'm not where I have thought I was going to be, because I'm telling you, there's greatness in you. There's greatness in me. And it's time for us to walk in that greatness and walk together to the top.
I love it. Thank God I'm not what I'm gonna be, but thank God I'm not what I used to be. I love that phrase. I love it. And you talked about faith, and I like to tell people that all faith is fighting aggressively, intensely towards higher ground. That's all faith is. When you have faith, you know that you are going to something greater. You know that you just are not gonna stay right where you are. You don't. It doesn't take faith to stay right where you are, but it takes faith. It takes an unwillingness, a willingness to walk outside of your comfort zone. It takes a willingness to be unstoppable in your pursuit of getting to that next level of your greatness. It takes faith to say that despite what all the naysayers are saying, or despite what all the other people that you used to hang around with would want you to do, faith says that there's more inside of you and there's more meant for you to do. So having that faith and being on fire to go to that next level of your greatness, because you know that at your next level, now you can inspire somebody else that might have been stuck in the mud with you a day or a week, a month, or a year ago. But now they've seen you come out of the mud, and they've seen you go to higher ground. And if you can do it, then they know that they can do it, because you used to be right where they are right now. Ain't, ain't, that's just, you know what? I'm gonna start preaching up in here. We're gonna have the tambourines and everything. So let me pull it right back to you, Aleigha. So what is next for Aleigha Butler?
Well, I'm currently working on Fire to Inspire 2. And that one, I'm not going to share the subtitle quite yet. But on Fire to Inspire 2 is also definitely everything that God has given me. And I'm praying about the formatting, because He's given me some powerful prayers. He's given me some declarations and affirmations. He's given me so many pieces that will help you move it to another level, and to trust Him, because that's all He wants you to do, is trust Him. If you trust Him and say, God, you know what? Just put your hands on up and say, I take my hands off and I give you free reign, full reign. And I promise you, you will start seeing a change. Because as long as you decide you want to have the reins, He gonna let you do it. But when you say, I hand them over to you freely to give it all to you, you'll start seeing a change.
Definitely. And you'll come to realize that as far as you could go on your own talents, your own abilities, and your own gifts, that only takes you that far. But when you turn those talents and those abilities and those gifts over to the person who gave you those things, over to the entity that put those things inside of you, and then you are the clay and He's the potter, and you let Him shape you, and you let Him move you, and you let Him direct you in the way that you want you to go. He wants you to go. Oh my God, it's even improbable for you to think how far you will be able to go. You may have think you've gotten this far on your own, but imagine how far you can go if you just release and let Him take the wheel. I love it. I love it. So, Aleigha, you've got another affirmation that I just want you to share with our audience live. I mean, it's great to have it on audio. It's great to hear that great music in the background, but I firmly believe that you can only be what you can see. And there is a young Aleigha that's going to watch this broadcast at some point, if she's not already watching it live, and she's going to see something in you that's inside of her. And she's going to know that she was chosen for that moment. So, with that being said, if you could just recite your affirmation about being chosen, I think you would really bless the Next Level Living show. Can you do that for us?
I sure can. So the piece is called The Chosen One. And when the Lord gave it to me, He said, in order for them to fully understand that they're chosen, they have to close their eyes. So each and every person, whether you're listening live or whether you're listening to the playback, I want you to close your eyes as I do this piece for you. And I want you to personalize it. You're going to make it personal where, and even if you have to touch your own heart, he's talking directly to you. So I want you to close your eyes, and here we go. You are my chosen one. Yes, I'm talking about you. I love you so much that I chose you. You are an heir to my throne. You have so much in you that I want to bring forth. Speak life, live life, and make it happen. Why? Because you are my chosen one. Now, before you open your eyes, I'm going to count to 10, and I want you to take a deep breath. So you're going to breathe in, and I'm going to count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale. And I want you to know tonight that you are chosen. And it's time for you to walk in every gift and talent that God has given you. It's time to stop existing. It's time to stop living. And stop living the life that you weren't called to. And it's time to start living the life that you were truly called to. No more complacency. It's time to live. And can I read one more thing?
You definitely can.
All right. I want to read Jeremiah 29:11, one of my favorite scriptures from the
Yes.
Good News version of the Bible. And it says, I alone know the plans that I have for you. Plans to give you prosperity and not disaster. Plans to bring about the future you hope for. So there is hope. There is a bright future that he has for you. All you got to do is trust him, because guess what? You're chosen. There is greatness in you. You are victorious. You are triumphant. Now it's time to live. It's time to thrive. Okay.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Jeremiah 29:11. He already has a plan for you. And I tell people, you know what? God already has a plan for you. He's just waiting for you to show up. And
Yes.
that's all we have to do sometimes. All we have to do is step outside of our comfort zone and show up for our greatness. And it is right there waiting for us. So Aleigha Butler, on fire to inspire. Let's tell them how they can get in contact with you to have a deeper conversation with you, or to purchase one of those fabulous books or audio CDs that you have. What's the best way for them to reach out to you?
All right. They can actually reach out to me on onfiretoinspire@gmail.com. The books are available on Amazon. You can purchase them on Amazon, or you can actually email me the link. And if you email me on onfiretoinspire@gmail.com, then you can purchase the book on the audio as well. And then the book of prayers, affirmations, and declarations right now is just an audio book. Just an ebook, but it is available in English, Spanish, and French if you need that version. Those versions.
Wow, voulez-vous va?
And no,
Wow.
I don't speak French, but I was interviewed on a show that had a high French population, so the Lord allowed me to get it uh,
That
translated in French and converted.
That is wonderful. You know what? Briefly tell them about your life as an author, because there's many people that watch this show that are aspiring authors, or are thinking about writing a book, thinking about writing a children's book, thinking about writing a book of affirmations, but you know that four-letter word FEAR gets in the way. So tell us a little bit about your experience in writing the first book and now on the third book. And was there any fear involved in that process?
It was more not really fear. It was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never done this before. So it wasn't so much as fear, it was more of doubt. There was
Okay.
more doubt and fear for me. Um, and then finally, when I did all my research, because if you don't know something, people can take advantage of it. So I did a lot of research. And it's just a matter of getting started somewhere. So whoever you are that desire to write that book, your biggest thing is writing everything that you have in your head down. I'm a big person about journaling, especially now, because out of your journaling you'll see your product coming to life. The children's book, the Lord partnered me up with the person that illustrated it, And it was like she saw what was in my head and she
Yeah.
brought it to life. And even with my book, and I forgot, On Fire to Inspire, my daughter, I saw gifting in her. And every photo in that book was taken by my child between age 10 and 11. And I mean, every photo was only created by God. So you have beautiful sunsets. You have pictures in the clouds with her first airplane ride. You have a bad storm that happened, and she captured a double rainbow. You have pictures that only God could create and give
Yes.
beauty.
Oh,
So I'm telling you, that's what On Fire to Inspire is about. But that person writing that book, just start journaling and do something daily. If it's not something, but write a title, write a subtitle, whatever it is, do something daily. Do something daily, and you'll see your product come to life. And it'll empower you, it'll inspire you as much as more. The more you do, the more you'll get excited about it. Don't allow fear to get in the way, because guess what? Everybody got started at some point, somewhere. And what you're thinking, well, nobody will like this. I promise you, someone will love it. And it's going to be a blessing to someone else. Your testimony is not for you. Your testimony is for the person that says, I can't do it. And you say, you know what? God is not a respecter person. If he did it for me, why not do it for you? He will do it for you because he can and he will, just like he's doing it for me.
amen and amen and amen. So tell them how they can get in contact with you regarding the radio show when that's on and when they can catch you on the radio on Fire to Inspire.
All right. On Fire to Inspire is live every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're in Central Time Zone, that's going to be 7. And if you are in Pacific Time Zone, that's going to be 5 p.m. We're 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are at, you can actually go to blogtalkradio.com/on fire to inspire, and you're going to write this number down. If you want to listen on the phone, it's 929-477-2178. And you can connect with me on Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, Instagram, Pinterest, any other social media outlets. I'm out there because it's about getting the word out. So it's time for you to come on into who you're supposed to be and not who you currently are.
Well, I
And
love
nobody
it.
makes you that.
I love it so much, and I love you for definitely taking time out to be on the Next Level Living show with Coach Terrance. And a shameless plug: if you go to Blog Talk Radio on Fire to Inspire, go through the archives, and there's this great show on there with this great guy. I think he called himself Mr. Unstoppable. It was maybe about a month ago. Great, 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 great radio show. Wouldn't you agree, Queen Aaliyah?
I would definitely agree with that. Definitely a great
Oh, it
show.
has been a wonderful time. Well, thank you, Aleigha Butler. Thank you for sharing some time, sharing the airwaves, inspiring our guest here on the Next Level Living Show. We pray for your blessing. We pray for your increase. We pray for your ministry, that it will continue to grow, that it will continue to inspire, and that it will continue to set lives on fire in whatever it is that they're doing. We thank you again so much, and please, when that next book is ready to be birthed out into the public, we want you to come back on the show and give us a sneak preview of that book as well. Can you do that for us?
Sure can. Definitely, definitely, definitely.
Definitely. All right. That is the Purpose Midwife, Aleigha Butler. We thank her so much for being on the show. That is a wrap, family. I just want to leave you with a unstoppable thought for the week. She said that it is time for you to let that purpose out. Time to get that out into the world. Stop holding it in, because your message is for somebody. And as I like to say to you guys all the time, your message could literally save somebody's life. Your purpose is that important. God doesn't do things halfway. God doesn't do things without a reason, without a purpose. And if he has put a purpose inside of you, it's not just for you, it's for somebody out there. So dig deep. Go into your inner chamber and find out today what your purpose is. Find out what that thing is that you're so passionate about that you would do over and over and over, regardless of time, regardless of effort, regardless of the payback, monetarily or otherwise. Find that thing that you love to do so much that you do it for free and start doing it today over and over again. Your purpose is waiting to be birthed. And if you learned anything from this show, we are out here letting you know that it is something that you not are supposed to do. It's something you have to do. Because as we say, why would you ever settle for less than giving your best and giving the world that purpose that God gave to you? I'm Terrance, the Unstoppable Coach Leffridge, and you've been watching the Next Level Living Show. Check us out each and every week on the Next Level Living Show. You can check out the Facebook page on Facebook, the Next Level Living Show. Leave your comments there. Leave any suggestions for any future shows, or if you want to be a guest on the Next Level Living Show, you can leave your information there, and one of my assistants will get in contact with you and hear your story, because we know your story makes a difference. We know you are an ordinary person doing extraordinary things to live your life on the next level. Hey, and you can go to my website if you want a deeper conversation with me, unstoppablecoaching.com, and you can check out the latest books that I have also on Amazon. The original, You Are Unstoppable, 11 Key Attributes to Living an Unstoppable Life, and the new Amazon bestseller done in collaboration with my guys from the Men of Vision, called Reclaim the Flame, Forever Leading and Masterfully Exceeding. It's a great read, some great brothers that are showing that you can collaborate instead of compete. You can also get them by going to terranceleftridge.com, and that's going to send you directly to the link for both of those books. And also, you got a new apparel line. Can't get off the broadcast without showing you this apparel line, and definitely I think Queen Aleigha, you would look great in this one. It's for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, the limited edition I Am Unstoppable T-shirts. You know, sometimes you'll run into somebody, and the only way that they'll know that they are unstoppable is by seeing it on you. So you can be a walking billboard that can literally give somebody the motivation that's going to change their life today. Let somebody know that they are unstoppable and that you are unstoppable too. Got them in pink, got them in blue, got them in the signature black, uh, and we got them in all sizes. So you can definitely go to unstoppablecoaching.com and get more information about those, as well as the wristbands that we are doing for Breast Cancer Awareness Month and domestic violence. Check me out as we come again each and every week on the Next Level Living Show with Coach Terrance, where we're talking to ordinary people doing extraordinary things to live their life on the next level. Until we connect again, I don't want you to just have a great week. I want you to have an unstoppable week. And here's to living your life on the next level. Take care, family.